this beef is insane. This beef, this drama has been crazy. This beef has been insane, man. Today we're going to talk about, there's a lot of things to unpack. Like, I haven't come on live since like over a month or so, where I first talked about this. And when I talked about it originally, I was clearly very much on Drake's side, dropping Give Me 50. And I was, I like mainstream music. Drake is an obvious mainstream act. So that's who I was always going to be checking for, right? That's who I'm going to be checking for. And I didn't really know Kendrick Lamar's music like that, if I'm being completely honest. I wasn't really I've never really been on Kendrick's music. And I think this whole beef has kind of shone a light on Kendrick's music across the globe. Because you have to think about it this way, right? For those of us that only listen to mainstream, hip hop and mainstream music, and for people that are around the world internationally who may not listen to very niche, is that favorable a way to describe Kendrick as niche? Or just hardcore hip hop? A lot of people just don't listen to hardcore hip hop like that anymore, and they've been saying that hip hop is declining. And so Kendrick is his music, I wasn't aware. I just never understood the hype, and so I never dove deep. And this whole experience has shone a light on the immense talent that is Kendrick Lamar, that I did not realize that he was. He is extremely talented. Then I find out that he's a Pulitzer Prize winner. I found out before Drake released his new response today. But yeah, it makes sense. Because when you see the octuple entendres and double entendres, octuple ones, it's obviously understandable that he is an artist. And I said this before, right? I said, I would put him in the artiste category with the Tupacs and all of them. And I wouldn't put him on my GOAT list at that time. That's what I said. And then I also said that I would I wouldn't put Drake on the GOAT list either. I said Drake is the mainstream, quality rapper. After watching this experience, understanding Kendrick, listening to Kendrick's music for real, dissecting it, all these videos that people are breaking down, Kendrick's music. And then in addition to that, then going into his catalog and playing some of his old stuff. And I was like, whoa, how did I miss all of these gems? I was like, damn, he is extremely talented. So for those people that watched this before and were offended by what I said, I totally get it. No disrespect. Kendrick Lamar is the GOAT. And who is winning? Who is winning? Who do I think is winning in this battle? I might have to tell you guys later. I'm going to keep you guessing. Originally, I had said it was Drake, but I take that back. And I'm not going to reveal who I think is winning just yet. I'm not going to reveal that just yet. But I think it's a little bit obvious the way I'm going to cover this. So I've been covering this on my Instagram page. And guys, you should really follow me on Instagram. I've been covering this hardcore on my IG. And yeah, you guys should follow me on there to just get the latest. Let me pop it up right now, my IG. Is Kendrick diabolical? Let's talk about Kendrick's artistry. There's a lot that I have to talk about here. There's a lot to dissect. Okay, let me open up my Instagram. And like I said, you guys should follow me on Instagram at I am Kenim, because I always cover stuff on Instagram. So if I'm not posting here on YouTube, best believe I am posting on Instagram. I am forever commenting on Instagram about pop culture and everything that's going on. And I guess as we wait for me to figure this out, what do you guys think about Drake's response? What do you think about how Drake responded to this whole thing. IG. So in my Instagram stories, I have been posting nonstop. I have been posting, and I'm just going to go through some things I've been posting all week about this whole thing and some of my takes.
I don't care what.
How do I pause? Some of my takes from the whole week about just, you know.
But I don't care what
Kendrick,
you on or this person's on. This is what I like. You know.
Boom, 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 boom. You know what? We're not even gonna. Let's get into the juice of the past few days before we get.
Yeah, my first one like my last one. It's a classic.
Before we get into all of that, let's get into the past day, right? It's just so much to dissect. Where do we begin? I've been posting. Guys, look, you guys should follow me on Instagram at I am Kenim. I have been covering this nonstop. I've been covering this beef. I'm just like, I have so much here, and I'm like, where do I even begin? Where do I even start? Drake the Colonizer. Let's start from the top. So, if anybody's new here, you don't know what's going on with Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
I'm proud.
It actually started with First Person Shooter, right? When did that come out? Like 6 months ago? Drake and what's his name? J. Cole, they drop a song. And it's kind of like the goats of the industry, right? They are the goats. And they allegedly, they actually asked what's his name to be on the song, but he refused to be on the song. And because of that, Drake did not mention him. Mention Kendrick on the song, but of course J. Cole mentions him. So what happens next? A month ago, they drop Like That. This Future and Metro Boomin, who are beefing with Drake, they drop Like That. Boom. And they get Kendrick on a feature. He's like, F the big three, is just big me, right? Boom. And he goes after Drake. Everybody's going after Drake. Now it's like the Avengers. Everybody in hip-hop appears to be going after Drake. Rick Ross gets into the mix. Drake doesn't respond for like 2 weeks or something like that. But everybody's like, you know, dropping stuff. Then Drake finally responds with dropping Gimme 50. That was a great response, a hit. Great song. That happens. And then there's time. And Rick Ross drops. You know what? I have a whole playlist on Instagram that I made. You guys should check out my playlist. I made a playlist of like what was released first, right? So it was First Person Shooter, Like That. J. Cole responds. J. Cole responds maybe like a week later or something. And then Beyonce drops her album, so nobody drops anything. Then there's Drake responds a week later with Push-Ups. Rick Ross immediately responds with Champagne Moments. Drake does another one the following weekend, a freestyle called Tailor Made. Then that same weekend, Kanye drops, because Drake did throw jabs at Kanye in the diss. So Kanye drops Crazy Beat, but not really relevant. Then there's Euphoria. Boom. Kendrick is ready to start dropping. He drops Euphoria on this past Tuesday. He drops Euphoria on a random Tuesday because Drake was like dogging him, making fun of him, saying like, oh, like you're afraid to drop because of Taylor, right? So that if we look at a calendar, try to make it official. So if we look at a calendar, yeah, so that was like Saturday, right? That was like, I want to say like Saturday. I don't even know what dates it was, but anyway, Drake is basically like, yo, like, you know, you're afraid to drop because Taylor Swift is dropping and all that stuff. Kendrick shows that he is playing chess, not checkers. He's playing chess. He can drop whenever he wants to drop. And that's when I saw this and I was like, yo, this is so
happening out there.
This is so what Kendrick was like. He did not drop on the regular music release schedule, which is a Friday. No. He will drop when he wants to drop. And look at this, because Drake kept dogging him, making fun of him that he has nothing to say. He has nothing to say. Check this.
I don't care what's happening out there. That's the great thing about, you know, having ultimate confidence in yourself is it doesn't matter what's happening. I don't care what's happening. I don't care what you on or this person's on. This is what I like. You know, my life is tailor-made for me. I'm not gonna let anybody speed up my process. I don't care what's happening out there. That's the great thing about, you know, having ultimate confidence in yourself. I'm not gonna let anybody speed up my process. I don't care what.
He said that my life is tailor-made for me, and in tailor-made by Drake, Drake was basically pushing Kendrick to respond and egging him on and saying, you have nothing to respond, you're a midget, blah, 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 blah. And then Kendrick is diabolical. Kendrick first drops Euphoria. In Euphoria, that's when I really learned how talented Kendrick was. Like so much in there that, you know, to unpack that he said. Then he drops, so that was a Tuesday, and then on, was it Friday? Yeah. He drops Euphoria. Oh yeah, this is what happened. He drops Euphoria. On Friday, Drake drops his response, Family Matters. No. He drops Euphoria. Then he drops in Friday morning at like 6:15 a.m. He drops another one, 6:16, right? That's the one, yeah. And then Drake drops Family Matters Friday night. 15 minutes later, he drops Meet the Grahams. Then Not Like Us. And now Drake has dropped another one now. So is this back and forth of them just kind of dropping songs, diss tracks, and a lot to unpack on these songs. There's a lot of things that have been said that are vicious, that are cruel. That are cruel.
I'm not gonna let anybody speed up my process.
Let's unpack this. Okay, so boom. Okay, now the claims that Drake is a pedophile, right?
I gotta show y'all this shit, bro. First off, this nigga like went on a date with an 18-year-old. It's a little creepy, but it's cool. She 18, whatever. It's weird, but it's legal. All right, bro. She was born in 2000, bro. Why the fuck is this nigga flicked up with her in 2016, laying up on her, bro? And then as soon as she turned 18, they took her out on a date, bro. Dude, this shit blew my fucking mind when I seen this shit, bro. On God, this shit blew my fucking mind, bro. Like, dead ass, bro. This Drake is pre-ordering bitches, bro. He's dead ass pre-ordering, bro. And this, what, May 5th, 2016? Linked her a week after she turned 16. She basically freshly 16, bro. Like, God, like, what is this shit, bro? Bro, this shit, like...
So these are the claims, and there's also Millie Bobby Brown that apparently said she basically was saying Drake was texting her, and he was saying stuff like "I miss you," and she was like 14 at the time. So all these little details are making people say, okay, he's a pedo. And so there's a few things, right? Because apparently, according to Drake, Kendrick revealed that he was molested as a child, so it would show why he's so, like, disgusted. Well, I mean, being a pedophile is the most disgusting thing. That's, like, worse than anything. There's nothing that you can do on this planet that is worse than being a pedophile. Like, there's absolutely nothing that's worse. That's the worst thing. You know, like, that's the worst thing. Okay, maybe, I guess, if you commit genocide, then that's probably worse. But it's up there, right? Of the most exiled people, the most sort of like despicable, disgusting people. And so that's why I don't take that accusation lightly. It's a very serious accusation. And this is not me trying to defend Drake. It's just very disturbing if that is the truth. And so here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to look at it from both angles. If it was true, then of course Drake would be responding the way he responded. So he dropped a song a few like an hour or so ago, he drops a song where he denies these claims, and he goes on to say that Kendrick was molested as a kid, and that's why he's unhealed, and that's why he's throwing jabs. And in that perspective, yes, these little weird clips of Drake, I can see how you can, manipulate the truth and say, okay, well, I'll jump to this conclusion. And it could be like a joke, even though it's a sick joke, but Kendrick could get away with the lie or the joke or just like reaching, because it's literally the diabolical thing to do. Like, what is the worst thing that I could do to you? And that's the angle that Kendrick is going in this fight. What is the worst thing that will cause you the most harm that you would have to shut up? I would have to cross the line so bad that you can't recover from it and you can't really do much about it. And that's really what the accusation is, right? So that's the one side if it's not true and Kendrick is just reaching. And from that perspective, just thinking about the art of Kendrick's work as as an artist and a strategist and the art of war and the way that Kendrick has put this war together against Drake is genius in a way. And I'm looking at it from the creative side of things because, like, not only is he a great writer and a Pulitzer Prize winner, even in the way that he's orchestrated the marketing strategy and the release strategy of this fight is genius. Like, the fact that he comes with an Avengers team of people that hate Drake, like literally Metro Boomin, Rick Ross, Future, everybody hates Drake. And all of them agreed to hate and attack Drake. First of all, what does it say about Drake? You can't be a great person that all these people have come for you like this. Like if everybody is saying the same thing, then there might be something wrong with you. But just the art of doing that, and it's like when Kendrick is quiet, other people are attacking Drake. Like when Kendrick is not the guy that's going to go back and forth with you on Twitter, but Rick Ross is going to do it. Metro Boomin is going to do it. All these other people, Kanye, like when we were waiting for Kendrick to drop, Kanye dropped one. So it's like, it just shows that when there's a lot of you, when you have a team, you're going to win. Like the Avengers have defeated Drake. That is undeniable. And then the fact that in addition to that, Kendrick has also now defeated Drake is crazy, but you can't not give Drake his flowers because he's been alone in this whole thing and he's held it down. But he's sounding weak now. He's sounding defeated now. But yeah, Kendrick is a genius, right? And even if this thing is like, I would assume this is not real. That's the stance, right? Now let's look at the other side, right? If what Kendrick is saying is real about Drake, now, of course Drake would respond the way he's responded. So Drake drops this song. YouTube. Drake drops this song. What's it called? The Heart Part 6. And in The Heart Part 6, he's basically denying everything, and then he's doubling down to remind us of his claims about Kendrick, saying that Kendrick is a wife beater. And in this society, right, that's pretty dark. Like, it's not just in this society. That's a shitty thing to be a wife beater. Like, for me, that's like after pedophilia. Like it's like horrific what I think about wife beaters. So it's like, so I guess genocide, murderers, and pedophiles are the same category of despicable. Wife beater, rapists, they're in the same category. That's under, so, and it's not funny. It's horrific. But I say all that to say that it's a pretty awful thing for you to be, in that lane. Okay, so many things here that he said. It's just 1 minute and 30 seconds in. I mean, him saying that him saying that this whole thing was fabricated. I don't even believe like that he planted all these things and he hired whatever people in Montreal or whatever to deceive Kendrick. That just looks like some Twitter talking points that Drake, scrambled from the internet and decided to push as a narrative. And I saw some clips that they claimed like, oh, this was in his video. He had the little girl that he was pretending, and she was the girl that was in the what'd you call it? That song, what's his name? I can't remember that song, that God's Plan video and blah, blah, blah. He was making all these claims, and I just don't believe it, because if that was the case, okay, so like, I feel like somebody was like, oh, why wouldn't he just drop it in Family Matters? But I think the songs where he claimed the Grahams came out after, yeah. But I just don't think it just sounds like you scrambled that together. Then the thing about Dave Freeze and Whitney is just, I don't understand why people take Instagram follows seriously, or I don't understand why people think that just because you don't see somebody you're following on your follow list means that you're not following them. Like, okay, the thing about Instagram is, right,
I'm not gonna let anybody
if
speak.
I come here, right, and I see my following, it's very possible for me to search a name that I am actually following and it will not show up. That happens with Instagram. It's a glitch that it happens. So it's so weird to me that people they go and search and they'll say, oh, you're not following this person, and they go with that when this is like an Instagram glitch. So to me, it's like crazy that's the argument that they're using for their little, like, of course Drake would say deny it. Of course he would deny it, right? Of course that's what he would do. And he would try and position it like this and act like, oh, I gotcha. Kendrick is diabolical. So like the thing is, like, that's the problem with these games, of course both of them would deny it. Oh, and so now it's just a he said, she said, and who really freaking knows? And then him claiming that Kendrick is buying views. He just sounds like a hater. Kendrick defeated you. He doesn't need to buy views. This song is freaking lit. So here's the thing about this, right? Because of the way the song, sounds, like Kendrick could get away with this if he's joking. Because if it was like a serious tone song, it would be like, damn, that's messed up that you said that, and you were lying and you didn't do a fact check and all those things. But this is like a fun get up and dance type of song that, like, he could just be trolling him and that's acceptable, But the problem is, it's now becoming a game of he said, she said. And I understand why Drake had to respond. He had to respond because these accusations are just so crazy. So absolutely insane.
Bruh, you know the
It's all a mess. BBL Trizzy. BBL Trizzy.
We need Drake.
All right.
Nobody.
So now let's talk about Drake's kids. What you guys came for the grand finale. Drake's children. We've established that Drake, right? Kendrick is claiming that Drake has a daughter. Drake is saying that I fed you that information. That's not true. But we find out that Drake, in fact, does. Well, I won't say he does that. Allegedly, Drake has a child. So let's check out this video from Impressive. And this is where the receipts, the thing about the internet is, like, the receipts will be found. The receipts will be found. And so Drake can claim he doesn't have kids. But the question is, would Drake even have embraced Adonis had this not been exposed by Pusha T? That's the real question. Okay, then somebody in the comments had said, in my opinion, I think Drake wouldn't accept any of his kids and was just more embarrassed about the woman he got impregnated than them just being black. Adonis' mother being a porn star made Drake hide that child. Well, okay, so let's look at this, right? So it's alleged.
Yeah, I guess they did the damn thing.
It's alleged that Drake has a kid.
And now Kendrick was pulling the
kids.
Pusha T move, and he was trying to expose Drake for hiding an 11-year-old daughter. However, Drake laughed this rumor off, and people believe that Drake sent somebody from his camp to send Kendrick fake information. So Drake might have trolled and baited him into thinking that he had a daughter, but it was rumored years ago that he did have an older child that he refused to claim, allegedly.
So a lady by the name of Laquana Gayson is pregnant. She says Drake is the father. Back in February, Drake sent a friend to her Instagram page to initiate the meetup. From there, she was given Drake's number, conversed a bit, flown out to see him in London, and eventually, I guess they did the damn thing. After their rendezvous, things seemed to be okay. However, in March, Laquana revealed to Drake that she was pregnant, and that's when she says he went ghost. On her Instagram, oh man, she went really deep. Text exchanges between her and Drake also posted positive pregnancy test results dated April 17th.
Now, we don't know if there's any validity to this story at all, so I'm not going to readily believe it. However, I would not be surprised if Drake had more children out there because he gets around. There's been other claims that he has a son by a woman named Sharkivia, and her son does look a lot like Drake.
That child looks exactly like Drake. Yes, he does. Yes, he does, bro. It's pretty crazy. When I first saw it, I was just like, yeah, that's Drake, bro. Now let's be real. Someone like Drake in his status, of course he's going to be doing it with a lot of women. Accidents are going to happen. And yeah, bro. Apparently there's more pictures I want to show you guys because, like, it's pretty legit. So this was the first picture. Now, as you can see in this other picture, that's Drake, bro. That's Drake. That's Drake's son. That's Drake's child, bro. And we know it's not a girl. You know what I mean? Because you're going to see the next post. Happy B-Day to my little cuz. And says, turn out Lil Drizzy. That's Drake, bro. Now, this is a kid who looks exactly like Drake. And this was about, what, 10, 11 years since 2014. So that lines up. Other people saying, oh, the 11-year-old line bar was a loaded, bar about the girl Bobby from Stranger Things. That was a good analysis. But if the daughter doesn't exist, maybe it's the son that exists. Maybe there's more than one. Who knows?
This is all speculation, but if it's true, this is some heavy tea. Now, I do find it interesting that Drake was quick to deny that he had an 11-year-old daughter.
So these are amazing.
Wow, that's good. Wow, these are good.
It's delicious. What if I told you that?
However, when it came to the other things that Kendrick accused him of, he was silent on it. And that silence was a little too loud for me. This is what Kendrick said.
Okay, no, Drake has come out and responded to that. But it's crazy, like, so now, does Drake have outside children? Do we believe that Drake has an outside baby? Do we believe it? Drake's kids? And if that's the case, number one, would he even have accepted Adonis if Pusha T didn't expose him? Or is it that he's now only accepting his white children because Adonis is predominantly white in his DNA? Drake is half white, and Adonis's mother is looks fully white. I saw her parents. And even if she's like from the Middle East, and Drake's mom is from Israel, in America, if you're Middle Eastern or North African, you're statistically white. So these are white people by American standards. Okay, I guess he's Canadian, so I don't know what the laws are in Canada. But it's fair to say that they're white. So let's check this out. So we see Drake and Adonis, who he only really embraced. And that's kind of crazy to me then, like, and it's sad if the other child is his, we don't know. But look at that resemblance. That is nuts. That is crazy. The only thing that I will say about this is that just because you look like someone doesn't mean that they're your child. Like, we saw that guy that looks just like Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart look alike. Look at this guy. Looks exactly like Kevin Hart. So just because you look like somebody doesn't mean, like, it's crazy. Like, he spat him out. Just because you look like someone does not mean, and this guy is from somewhere in Africa, look at the resemblance. He's from somewhere in like Nigeria or somewhere in West Africa. So even if this kid looks like Drake doesn't mean that it's his kid, right? And just because you don't look like your parent doesn't mean that you're not the parent. So that's something that we should acknowledge, right? That's something we should acknowledge. But this is crazy. This is crazy though. Looks like him, but this is a boy, and what's his face is talking about a girl, and baby mama family. I saw a picture of Drake's baby mama's family. Look at this. See, these are all white people, and Drake's mom is there. I guess that's her parents. Damn, it must be crazy, like, you know, not having the sexual discipline to vet the people that you have sex with, and then just having to, you know, now have a family with strangers. It's crazy. But men have been doing this since the beginning of time. It's nuts. And, you know, pretending that you're a good father. Who knows? Maybe he is a good father, but to me, it all seems like pretense. You know? Damn. All this to say, you know, but all of these pictures, you know, that they take, you're doing this for Instagram. You're doing it for the gram. Why should we trust you? Why should we trust you on this? You're obviously doing this for attention on the gram. But does Drake only care about his white kids? And if he does have other children, why is it the white one that he took and accepted? These are the questions I have. Oh, this is okay. The business of it. Okay, we can talk about the business. This is a good topic. Okay, Kendrick's diss was released through Interscope. Drake's diss was released through OVO Republic, which is owned by Universal. J. Cole is also signed to Dreamville, his label, who's also distributed by Interscope, who's owned by Universal. Sir Lucian Grainage is chairman and CEO, CEO of Universal Music Group. Chairman. Does he also own it? Damn. What equity does he have in that company? Sir Lucian Grainage is the winner of this beef. This is the guy. I guess he was knighted by the British Royals. That's all I have to say about the beef. Let me get back to minding my business that pays me.
I'm not gonna let anybody speed up.
So let's talk about this. How both Kendrick and Lamar and Drake are colonized. You know, Kendrick is pointing hands, you're colonized. Drake is pointing hands, you know. But I say both of them are slaves. Both of them are slaves. Right? So there's this clip I saw with, what's his name? Vince Staples. Oh, Drake being lame. Look at this. What is this? And then he paints his nail with nail polish. Part of the Drake being lame narrative. So I want to play the clip with Vince Staples. Ooh, I didn't even talk about this part. I'll come back to it. Okay, this. Check it out.
I'm serious on a serious note, but look, right? Hey, who you think winning between Drake and Kendrick? It's going up on social media. Don't trip, I got your back, bro.
You don't want to know how I feel about that shit, bro.
All right, look, get with me after.
You really want to know how I feel about that shit?
Feel?
I want to know.
Yeah.
I think so I'm signed to Universal, right?
Yeah.
I've been signed to Universal since I was 17. I haven't got a back end. That means when you turn in an album, they give you payment. I haven't got a back end since 2017, 18. So I done been on the same record label for 13 years, so to say. That record label just folded all of its independent labels and subsidiaries into each other, which means how we was kids, you got Rockefeller, you got Def Jam, you got all these things. None of them exist no more. They fired all the heads of the labels, and if they didn't, they turned them into glorified A&Rs. They cut off 50% of the people who work in all these departments. Most of those people is us, people of color that come from hip-hop and R&B and these other things, right? Then you got record labels opening up IPOs. You got record labels destroying their relationships with TikTok, Spotify, things that pay out artists because they want to start their own shit. So then we getting priced out of our contracts. We getting priced out of our imprints. There are no labels basically that are incentivized to sign black music, and it's happening in front of our eyes. And while Taylor Swift is fighting for people to be able to have streaming money, niggas is on the internet arguing with each other about some rap shit. So that's how I feel about it, honestly. Neighbors is on the
Language, Vince. Language.
About
I appreciate you keeping it real.
So I think, personally, I think we better than that. I think we deserve better than that because we've been saying for decades that we want people to respect black music and black art and black people. And I think for that to happen, we got to respect ourselves. And they don't make it easy for us, but we got to try to work a little bit harder at that.
Yeah. Thanks.
I think Vince needs to be in the conversation even more because that's more profound than anything. Like I woke up this morning and heard the new one from Kendrick. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And but I tell you, this was very profound. We just heard that we're all dealing with the same challenges, and the industry is shifting, and we should be uplifting black music right now, not celebrating people tearing each other down. That's pretty profound.
Black people though, because you're not. You know, the dude that work at Dunkin' Donuts is important as Drake and Kendrick because it's an ecosystem. We all matter. And I think that's our problem is that, you know, we looking too high up. We need to kind of look at each other. If we don't do that, then we wasting our time.
I'm serious on a serious note, but look, right?
That was the gem right there. So this is why I say both Drake and Kendrick are colonized. Both of them are being used. And it's so crazy to me because we're watching two black men. This is the time that when we want to celebrate and say, oh, hip hop is back. Oh, hip hop is great again. When we're watching two black men beat each other up. You even saw, you know, DJ Academics is going extremely viral with this stuff. He's broadcasting live on X. Elon Musk is even elevating it. The world elevates when two black men tear each other down. And that's what we're getting right now. Why do all our heroes have to be exposed? And I don't say this to say that, like, I don't support exposing terrible people. You know, and I don't want to address the idea that, you know, some of the things that Kendrick is saying is very serious, like the you know, child abuse claims about Drake, which it's so difficult because it's like, if it's true, absolutely. At the end of the day, if it's true, this is almost like a dog whistle, and a lot of people who are victims will come out and say something. So that's what we're gonna have to wait and watch to see if it's true. But if it's not true, it's really, really unfortunate to me, because if Kendrick is so high and mighty as, you know, he's been positioned to be, and trust me, I've been celebrating him throughout this whole experience. But when I think about it and the way that J. Cole bowed out of this, and I respected that, if Kendrick is the way that he's worshipped and praised, is this really a wise thing to do? Then I think about the fact that J. Cole is 39, Kendrick is like 36, Drake is 37. Kendrick is like 3 years younger than Cole or something. So 3 years does make a difference in maturity. But it makes me question, why did you have to destroy Drake? Why can't we have, you know, black men celebrate and elevate each other? Why did they have to fight each other tooth and nail to the end? This is the question for the entertainment of the world. Black people tearing each other down that have built such great empires. Now it's almost expected. Who's next? Now they want to come for Beyonce and Jay-Z. They're always looking for the next black person to expose, to, you know, and I'm not saying that I support I think the Diddies are disgusting and they deserve what they get. But there are equally as many white people that are doing, in fact, you could say statistically and historically, there are more white men that have caused atrocities than black men. And I think there was even a statistic that said that if your child gets missing, tell her to go to a black man because she's going to be safer. If she goes to a white man, the chances are, and this is not to be race baiting or anything, this is just a statistic that says the chances are that of her being in danger are much higher. So all I'm trying to say is that the literalist atrocity that any black person has done is amplified, but the atrocities of white men are hidden. They allow the dignity to be all of these disgusting things and never get exposed. But when a black person does it, oh, we need to get the helicopters out. We need Fox News to broadcast their house, showcase their children being handcuffed and taken out. It's always like this thing to shame and disgrace black men, black people. And it's something that we should just think about. It's something that we should have an awareness of. I am not supporting Diddy. I think he deserves everything that he's gotten. Maybe not the helicopter exposing him. If you're not going to do it for Elvis Presley and all the other white, you know, male molesters and abusers that are, you know, Diddy's pretty bad. But if you're not going to do that, I didn't see helicopters coming out for Harvey Weinstein, right? There were no helicopters coming out of his house, you know, so this is the thing that I'm talking about. And Harvey Weinstein, I don't know who's worse, but you see what I'm saying? So why do we have to expose and denigrate black people? I want for us to own our own media, own our own music, own our own culture, and decide what we want to elevate and what we don't want to elevate. And that's a real conversation. That's a real conversation. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. You're watching Brand Video Pro. I am your host, Kenim, and I'll see you next time. Peace.